So this last question, when is the right time to bring on an architect? We have people on the call that have 50 Salesforce users using Sales Cloud. We have people on the call with 100 Salesforce users, Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. We have people with 200 users, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, CPQ. We have folks on the call with 1,000 Salesforce users. And this sort of magic question, Ezra, you were kind of pointing earlier and saying, mouthing the word now for when to bring on an architect. There is a lot of question around, do I need a Salesforce architect? Salesforce tells me I don't even really need many admins. So why should I go buy, my sales rep tells me I don't need many admins. So when do you think the right time would be? And a challenging question, Amber, why don't we start with you? When might be the right time, thinking that a lot of the folks on the call are at a different place, and as they grow and scale, when might be that right time to pull the trigger?
Yeah, I think it depends. The right time is when your organization is aware that the current pattern isn't working or doesn't scale, and you need to be thinking bigger picture and longer term. That's when you bring in an architect to do that bigger picture, longer term thinking. Do you want them to also be a people manager? Maybe, maybe not. But it's important to set that person up for success as you bring them in. Of here's what we want you to focus on, and having it be also order taking isn't setting them up for success. So thinking about what it is that from the leadership, whoever the executive sponsor of Salesforce is, and you have one, don't you? If you don't, you need that first, then get an architect. But that forethought is there from a technical perspective. So yeah, it depends.
Okay, Ezra?
I'm big on the dial concept. So, if you feel like you should strive to think architecturally, full stop. If you find that you're accruing cruft, if you find that you're having trouble documenting, if you find that you're fixing as opposed to doing stuff right the first time, then you need to be turning that knob more in the architectural direction. It need not be a switch flip of, we are hiring a person whose explicit job is architect, but that certainly on the smaller end of the scale, it's just asking folks to be more architecturally minded. As you get larger, that's when you're going to flip and say, okay, let's get a person whose specific job description is architect.
Sure. Brian?
Yeah, I agree that there's a role to be played regardless, right? And maybe some companies have more money to hire somebody with that certification or that title, but I think if it's a role and we're looking to somebody like I was saying earlier, somebody who's going to collaborate with the business on what the future strategic vision is and how the technical ecosystem is going to support that do that today, right? Like, don't wait until a year from now and then realize that all the stuff that you did before needs to be unraveled before you can actually build on that, like you were saying, David, right? Build on that solid foundation that's going to enable you to scale. If it requires some level of expertise that you don't have on your team right now, then okay, then have those conversations about what you can, who you can hire and how you can hire them. But I think there's no time like now to future-proof your system and your ecosystem. So you want to be responsive to change. You can't be responsive to change, especially in this environment, the SaaS environment. Businesses can't respond quickly to those market forces if they first got to re-engineer everything in order to make it fit.
It's like a big boat anchor being dragged.
It just drags you down.
Yep. We've even contemplating going so far as requiring some form of a roadmap with every new relationship, because a lot of the organizations that will be introduced into, might have taken a significant round of funding. They're expected to double in the next 12 months or 18 months. And, there is that pile of tech debt. There's some movement toward investing in a new set of tools. but we really want that clarity in line with the the goals of the business, the strategy of the business, and just making sure that we're aligning this tech stack, the systems, data, process, reporting, strategy. So we end up playing that role if there isn't that role internally, and we certainly appreciate the role so much when we work with them.